So remember back in this video how I said that I had finally found my art style? Well, today we're throwing all that away. I don't care that I'm finally comfortable in my art execution. I want to draw in 10 different art styles. I'm sure that you've seen a million very similar videos to this one, but for some of the styles that I'm going to be replicating, I'm going to be coming up with a way to fit my character into the actual universe. Kinda like a self-insert.
That's cringe.
Shut up, oh my god. So let's take my beloved Star Baby and throw them into their first universe. I have always loved Pokemon, and spamming the same move until you run out of that one and then moving on to the next one until you win. I was not a strategic player growing up. But my little fat-ass version of my Sona is such a creature that I thought, why not make myself into an actual Pokemon? Because, I mean, I've already designed a gym leader entirely based on my IRL self, so, you know, like, go watch that video, it has fully animated segments. Sorry, hairball. One thing that you'll notice is that I did not follow a specific generation for this art style, which may have been a mistake on my part, but I pulled references from official renders of all different kinds of Pokemon, and I think that it still very clearly reads as a Pokemon art style. I just think it would have been a lot easier for myself if I had picked one generation and just stuck to it. But yeah, this is the first art style done, and I think I did rather well. Would you choose this little guy if it was a starter Pokemon? I did it, okay? I caved. I bought the fake gambling game, and I can admit that I'm completely addicted. Not a day goes by where I don't play this game, not a meal untouched by its presence. I take a screenshot after every big win and send updates to my adrotic@youtube.com. They are the one that got me into the game, okay? Fuck you, dude.
Haha, you know you love it.
That's besides the point, okay? And anyways, who are you
Gambling.
Who the fuck was that?
Don't mind her. Anyways, about that Joker.
Okay. But while it is addicting, it is also a very difficult game. And the biggest reason why is because when playing this game, you really have to focus on everything that is going on the whole time. I genuinely can't even count the amount of times that I've messed up on a run because my ass just forgot the conditions of a boss round. Only play 5 cards, you say? How about instead I accidentally keep playing 4 of a kind, and every single time it doesn't work. And every time I see the text pop up telling me that it's not working, it registers for half a second and I do it again. And again, and again, and again. I'm not joking. God, sorry, this hairball is real tough today. So this is my Joker card, Starstruck. It disables all Jokers to the right, giving 0.1 mult for every $1 of the card's sell value. This means that if you had a bunch of negative cards that weren't particularly useful, you could put them all to the right of this Joker, and you'd be hella stacked. And of course, there are more expensive cards that the effect just doesn't really help you in some runs, so you could throw that in there too. But I think this is just such a cool Joker ability. What an interesting iteration of my Sona. I wonder where I should keep this. This video is sponsored by Unveil. We all know by now that Unveil is such a good place to store your characters. With their anti-AI and never NFT policy, you can feel safe leaving your babies in the arms of this little goober. Little. One of my favorite smaller things about Unveil is how you can link a song to a character's profile. Like, yes, tell me about how you associate your character with a Neil Diamond song. Come on. And yet another really cool feature of Unveil is their randomizer tab. I really like being able to flip over the 8 cards. It's kind of like opening up a pack of Pokemon. Like, I like gambling, alright? If you are a little bit of a messy type like me, you'll appreciate how easy it is to keep your characters all neat and tidy on this platform. My Sona is definitely my most important character to me, and all I had to do was press these little 3 buttons right here and then boom, push to the front. So do a bit of New Year's cleaning with me and organize your characters on Unveil. Unveil has been a long-time supporter of my channel, so thank you so much once again to Unveil for sponsoring this video. Last year's Steam Summer Sale, I went batshit crazy and bought a bunch of games. Mom, if you're watching, no I didn't. What? I really didn't, but I bought some games that I've been really wanting to play, and Haste is one of them. I fell in love with the sprite style of this game, and I knew that I wanted to try my hand at it. One really important thing is that all of the characters in this game are human, and I'm not exactly, well, human, so I decided to use the Gajinka design I made in this video. And you know the drill, if you haven't watched it already, go watch it. But like I mentioned, the gameplay is really fun. It's yet again another really addictive game, and not to mention that the art style for the sprites is so cool. With line art with what looks to be a G pen in thicker line weight surrounding the subject so they stand out. Bright colors and rake brushes making lines and textures really come to life, along with dots and dashes of fun colors that you wouldn't even think to put in the color scheme with the sprite, like bright pink and bright green. And the final 2 traits are a bold, thick white outline on the outside of the silhouette, and a screen tone going to the left of the character in all black that acts as a cast shadow. It's so fun. And not to mention that the anatomy is a little bit lanky in some characters, but oddly enough, not in others. Like Naeda, why are you built like a f***ing red forest pine? Also, this is another game that I have yet to finish, but I'm on the last boss, so it's like more reasonable. It's more forgivable, okay? This drawing may have taken me quite literally like 3 days to finish, which is crazy. I think this could fit in the game. What do you guys think? The Amazing World of Gumball. I used to watch this show as a kid on cable when it was airing, but cable being cable, I never really got to watch the entirety of the show. But I started to watch it in order this year, and I got around to season 2, I think, and got distracted and forgot. Anyway, I feel like there isn't really another show quite like Gumball. Of course, because of its ever so iconic IRL backgrounds in stark contrast to the cartoon characters, but even outside of that, the cartoon characters themselves have a very unique style and it's instantly recognizable, even if you haven't watched the show. Like, one thing to mention is the weird hip thing that all the characters seem to have going on. Why does it look like your legs are detached from the rest of your body, bruh? Also, specifically the shape of Darwin and Gumball's faces. Their cheeks are so large. Oh, I just want to pinch them. But yeah, do my chubby cheeks match the show style, or am I completely off the mark? If it wasn't blatantly obvious to you enough already, my chibi style is very, very heavily inspired by Chikuwa already. So leaning really hard into it, you'll notice that I went with more of a pastel color palette to fit in with the cutesy kawaii thing that Chikuwa has going on. This was one of the easiest out of the bunch. I mean, it took me like 20 minutes max. So yeah, I'm done. Mao, no, what are you doing?
Fruits gummy.
My baby. Around a year ago, I fulfilled my 8-year-old self-stream of playing a Zelda game. I bought a used cartridge of Ocarina of Time, 3DS version. I did not, finish the game. You know, I think I'm kind of starting to see a pattern, but I love the graphics of this game. I know that they're low quality, but that's what makes it so charming, nostalgic, and even scary. This game is marketed towards kids, but some of the monsters in this game legitimately scare me, even at my big boy age of 81 years old. But when it came to replicating the style from this game, it is very difficult because I am drawing 2D and I'm trying to replicate a 3D model. I actually don't know why I chose to do this to myself, but here we are. Yet again, this is an instance that I decided to use the Gajinka version of my Sona because I did try in the beginning to use my original full body Sona, but I just couldn't bear to give them that much life in their eyes. Ugh. One thing about Ocarina of Time is that you'll notice that some of the colors can be a little bit dull, and that's because what kind of looks like would be the shading if it was 2D is done with black, especially on objects that are a little bit darker. And this did make it a little bit difficult, I will say, because I was painting, and when you're painting, you're not supposed to use black because it makes it a little bit muddy, but I think the little bit of muddiness really makes it seem accurate to the art style of the game. The entire time, I was using a very pixely brush to render the whole thing, but in the end, I also decided to duplicate all of the layers into one, pixelate it a little bit, and lower the opacity, just so that it gives a little bit more of a low quality look, you know? Also, if anybody comes at me for those boxy fingers, I will strike you, because, oh my god, it hurt me to draw them like that. That's how they look in the game. I wasn't even gonna try with most anime art styles because, I mean, look at me. I can't look like them. Wait, let me just... Ah! It burns! It burns! But I really wanted to give One Piece a try because I have been really into it for like the past 6 months, I think. 6 or 7. Kill yourself, please. I am 540-ish episodes in, which is crazy to me because that's so much of my life that I've wasted being a fat fucking chud. So, in putting my character into this universe, Zaylor ate the Star fruit. This fruit turned my body into a star. I think that my most powerful move would be something like having the power to call upon the heavens and make a deadly star ray rain down and pelt down on my enemies. When thinking about what type of devil fruit power the Star fruit is, it's difficult because the whole thought process behind this is that I want to be able to transform into my baby version and, you know, most likely other forms, but I just didn't have time to draw that in this video. So that would make me a Zoan type, right? Zoan types are those whose devil fruit powers give them animal-like transformations, but the thing is, I'm a star, not an animal. So my mindset switches over to Logia types, whose devil fruit powers make them literal natural elements, when you think about Ace, who's made out of fire, and Kizaru, who's made out of literal light. But honestly, I don't really know if One Piece Sailor really fits the bill for a Logia type, and I really don't think that they fit the Paramecia type, which is the superhuman abilities, like Luffy's abilities to stretch. So I'm just like, what even is this dude? I don't even know. But besides the lore and the powers that I tried to give my myself. I had the same exact issue with this art style attempt that I had with the Pokemon art style at the beginning of this video. One Piece is very long, and because of that, the art style has changed drastically over the course of the show. So I found myself once again using references from all over the timeline of One Piece's existence, and I kind of just mashed it all together in my brain. One thing that I knew for certain was that I was not gonna subject myself to the crazy, insane One Piece anatomy, especially since my character just does not have a chest. Like, that's rather obvious at this point. I wanted to give myself anatomy somewhere in between the female and the male anatomy in this show, so I used pre-time skip Sanji and Nami as reference points. One really special thing about One Piece is that all the character designs throughout the entire show are kind of fabulous, if I'm being so honest. So I wanted to give it a try and give my character a really over-the-top outfit to match the show's fashion. I don't really know why, but I decided to Discord light mode your ass with this design. I don't know, it looks sick. So what do you think? Would my character be an enemy or an ally of the Straw Hat Pirates? Would you join my crew? This game is in 3D, and I almost died to the Ocarina of Time art style, and I am not about to whip out Blender. But this game does have some pretty peak banner and splash art on their Steam page. Did you see what I did there? Peak. This is such a unique style that utilizes a technique called pointillism. This technique is where dots are used to build form and value throughout a piece. But you'll notice that it's not fully pointillism. It's more of a spotted airbrush used on contours of the drawing. But when seen from a distance, it looks a lot like pointillism, which, I think is really cool. This art style also utilizes thick, taperless lines that I think might have some texture in them. I don't know though, it was a little hard to see the lines super clearly because the reference I used was like 2 by 3 pixels. I didn't really do much in terms of the outfit for this goober. I kind of just put them in the standard outfit that you play in Peak, so. So what say you? Would you traverse the icy snow peaks and the poisonous jungle with this goober at your side? I would advise not. I'm rather ass at this game. Last year was actually the first time that I ever played Undertale. I know that the game has been out for 10 years, but it just was never really something that I ever got into, and somehow by the will of God, I never saw any spoilers for the game after all these years. The most that I had ever seen was what was it? The Ultimate Twink Battle of 2023. Tumblr Sexy Man, that's what it was, God, the fucking hairball is back. But last year was my first time playing the game, and on the 10-year anniversary, I submitted my attempt at an Undertale sprite of myself, and honestly, it's so ugly, bro. God damn. The quote's kind of banger though, not gonna lie. I initially was just gonna do a battle scene sprite, where it's just black and white. But I thought it would be a lot more fun to try and replicate the style from the shopkeepers. Lots more colors to work with, and a whole bunch more vibes. And no, I'm not going to use the burger guy as a reference. Actually, fuck off, bro. That guy is nightmare fuel. But yeah, would you guys buy what I have to sell? What am I even selling? I don't even know what I would even sell. I have a confession. I know absolutely nothing about Sonic. I did play some of the games when I was a wee one, but all I remember about playing them was the ring sound. But for real, this was mentioned very briefly in my art fight video, which if you haven't watched, you should watch it. I never got into Sonic because I was scared of Eggman. Yeah. I know. Despite this, it has always been a game and series that I have respected for the art style. It's genuinely so unique. The way that the eyes connect in the middle, how freaking large the heads are compared to the rest of the body. Their hands and feet are so big, like it's so funny looking. I love it so much. Also, yes, I know, I decided not to give myself a nose, but come on, it doesn't make sense if I did have a nose, bruh. I'm an alien. I don't have a set of strills. But as you'll notice, I went with this 2D art style that used to be used on Sonic characters all the time. The airbrush shadows and the harsh white highlights are the main defining traits of this coloring style. And who knows, maybe I've reached a big boy age where I'm not scared of Eggman anymore and I should give Sonic a try. Maybe. In a certain orb fashion, I decided to put all of my drawings on the same canvas. It looks super cool and it's super fun to see all of these different versions of myself right next to each other, so honestly, I might do it more often.
Why don't I get a style swap? That's cringe.
Oh my god, fine.
Yippee!
You happy?
Very happy.
Whew, That's me in every single possible cinematic universe, right? But yeah, that's the video. Another one with 1 million drawings and a billion animations. Thank you so much to those of you who have made me fan art. You make me feel so happy and special every day. And if you want your fan art to be in my videos, make sure to tag me on any platform I'm on. And if you like the work done in this video, you should head over to my Patreon. You can see work in progresses and even make art requests, if you're in the 2 highest tiers, that is. And my highest tier gets your name in the credits of my videos, just like Little Wolfie in here. They've been a supporter from the beginning of my Patreon. So cool. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. The next one is really special to me. I think you're gonna like it. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, well, finally got that one out of my system.